Good morning and welcome. It's Corporate Governance Platform coming to you live from the studios of 89.7 FMRM. Fume Omoburiowo. Corporate Governance Platform is brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, which is a leading and recognized professional body in Nigeria dedicated to enhancing the status and practice of corporate governance and public administration. All right, we've always talked about, the National Code on Corporate Governance, but today is going to be a little bit different, because I have in the studio the president of the institute, Mr. Bode Ayeku, FCIS. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Fumi. Good morning, listeners.
Good to have you right here in the studio.
I'm happy to be back.
And congratulations to you. The last time you were here, you were vice president. And, your investiture was 2 weeks ago. I mean, on a day like this, a big congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. I also have in the studio Mr. Akumifula Ojiji, FCIS Operations Manager, ICSAN. Good morning.
Good morning, Fumi. Good morning, listeners.
All right. Before we go into the main discuss of the program, we'll take this message. We'll be right back.
Hey, Obinna, good to see you. You look so worried. Is everything all right? I'm having serious issues in my company. Balancing the interest of my company's many stakeholders like shareholders, management, customers, financiers, government, and communities giving us a problem. That has to do with corporate governance. Exactly. Then you need to get in touch with ICSAN. ICSAN? Yeah, Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. ICSAN. They provide you with seasoned and top-ranking professionals trained to uphold the standards of corporate governance and efficient operations. You can also get in touch with ICSAN if you want to become a chartered secretary and administrator. Contact ICSAN by visiting the website www.icsan.org or call 009 06 601 69. ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
All right, definitely. ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals. Okay, Mr. President, let me start with the ICSAN, ICSAN. What does it stand for? Let's look at its functions, the focus, the relevance.
ICSAN stands for professionalism, integrity, and sound corporate governance in all ramifications. And when we are looking at the focus, we should consider the various stakeholders. Starting with the students, we have the members, and then we have to divide the members into two categories, the young members and then the experienced members. For the student, the focus of ICSAN is to ensure that we provide a very conducive learning environment for them to enable them acquire the desired training, top-notch training, because it is an input-output relationship. If they are well trained, then we'll be able to have good members. And for the members, as I said, they are divided into two categories. We have the young members. Our focus for the young members is how do we assist them to have the required assistance in terms of mentorship, in terms of networking platform, in terms of exposing them in order to acquire practical experience. It's one thing for you to learn the theoretical aspect of this particular profession, but the other part, which is also crucial, is the practical aspect. So our focus is to ensure that we expose them to the right environment where they will acquire the practical experience, and also provide for them a networking platform, mentorship program.
Okay, let's look at the relevance of the institute.
The relevance of the institute basically is to ensure that there is sound corporate governance both in public and private sector, and the institute is noted for that in view of the fact that we've been involved in a lot of projects concerning corporate Nigeria. For example, this Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018, ICSAN participated actively. We're also involved in the current review of CAMA to ensure that the business environment is right. And because of that, we've been able to at least bring together the views of stakeholders to the government and the relevant stakeholders, so that at the end of the day, we can have an enabling environment that will support business to thrive. So in the environment, both the public and private sector, ICSAN is seen as a worthy partner, and for the members also, ICSAN is seen as a platform for them also to deliver high quality services to their clients.
All right, great. So let's look at the role. What role do you think chartered secretaries can play in the Nigerian economy?
Basically, we'll be talking of one thing. We are looking for very sound institutions, not individuals. And that is an area where you need sound professionals like members of the institute who can actually ensure that we put the right structure in place to have a workable system and a system that is thriving. And what ICSAN has been doing over time to support the Nigerian economy is that we have the right structure. Both at the private and public sector, we have structures in place for doing things. It's not enough for you to have a business. You must have a business that is sustainable. You must have the right institution that will ensure that the business will continue for a very long time. And that is why if you look at the developed economies, you see a lot of these multinationals. They were actually initiated by individuals, but after their exits, 100 years, they are still on. So what ICSAN has been doing in terms of supporting the Nigerian economy is that the business is supported to put in place the right structure that will ensure sustainability of the business, that will ensure continuity in such a way that all the relevant stakeholders will benefit.
All right, transparency and accountability are two of the key principles in corporate governance. Now, as a president of a leading institute in this field, what are the steps Nigeria can take to promote transparency and accountability in our public life?
It's very simple, and it's applicable to both the public and private sectors. Whether in public or private sector, you have leaders. The leaders must have this sense of accountability that they are just trustees, and because they are trustees, they must ensure that they manage the resources or whatever is in their custody adequately and transparently in the interest of the stakeholders. So it's to ensure that they have this culture that whatever we are doing it in the best interest of the people, and we must account for whatever we are doing. So in the public sector, whoever will be the leaders will be conscious of that in whatever decision it takes, so that he is conscious of the fact that I will be asked questions. So before he takes a decision, he would have asked himself the relevant questions. And also, this responsibility should not be limited to the leaders. The followers have also key responsibility to ask the right questions. Because if you don't ask the right questions, some of the leaders could make genuine mistakes. But if you are asking the right question, it will ensure there is a balance. So transparency is important, that the leaders will be in a position to inform the led that these are the things we are doing. And then accountability is important for them to render account of their stewardship. And also the led should also support the leaders by asking the right question, by making their views known, and then contributing to the discourse in such a way that we ensure that the country and these various sectors are growing as expected.
Okay, great. Let's look at your plans for the institute during your tenure.
My plans, I have several, but let me just talk about the key ones.
Okay.
I want to embark on aggressive membership drive. And one thing that we have discovered in the recent past is that despite the fact that this particular institute is one of the few institutes in Nigeria that have this opportunity of giving the certificate that enables each member to practice in dual capacity, the emphasis has been on charter secretaries. People talk about charter secretaries, whereas the other aspect of it, which is 50% of the scope of our mandate, is chartered administrators. So we want to emphasize that to the public, that we are not only charter secretaries, so that they will not limit us to corporate functions alone. We are also chartered administrators, and as chartered administrators, you are relevant in all spheres, in SME, private companies, PSCs, in the public sectors, and then all other sectors, even one-man business. As much as possible, we want to emphasize this, because the reason why a lot of the public, they've not taken the advantage of enrolling or at least trying to join the institute is that they felt, well, I'm not in corporate employment, I don't have the ambition to be a company secretary, so that particular profession is not relevant for me. But they are not aware, or they are not conscious of the fact that we also train people as chartered administrators. So we want to do something like corporate evangelism, to let people know that this is a profession that gives you opportunity to practice in dual capacity. So we want to emphasize that. And how do we want to do that? We want to reach out to the schools. For example, we have leakage programs. We want to expand the leakage programs beyond Nigeria. We are in other countries, but we want to expand it to West African countries. Apart from that, as at now, we are also in alignment or a partnership with Nigerian Law School, but we have focused mainly on the Lagos campus. So we want to extend this outreach to other campuses of the Nigerian Law School. In addition to that, NYC camps, we've not been able to visit substantial number of the camps. So we want to extend the reach in such a way that we encourage the UCOM members to write our exams during their service year so that they can join us. In addition to that, we also have the executive route, which we started some months ago. I will review the executive route to bring in experienced people in order to ensure that we increase the membership base. Apart from that, we want to scale up the benefits for the members. We discovered that, we have basically two sectors, the private sector, the public sector. The private sector, they are keen into our programs, but the public sector, some of our members there are of the view that they are not given the right placement, in the sense that when they qualify ordinarily, the entry level should have been grade level 10. And that means they must be in the administrative cadre. But that is not uniformly done. So what we want to do is to continue with our engagement with the head of service of the Federation so that we have the right placement for our members in the public sector. If that is done, a lot of workers in the public sector will key into our program register for our programs, and then we'll increase the membership base. And in addition to that, this Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018 introduced two new concepts under principles 14 and 15, whereby it is mandatory for us, for every organization to have board evaluation and corporate governance evaluation, which must be externally validated once every 3 years. We want to develop the capabilities of our members to actually carry out this audit. In India, it's the exclusive prescribed of charter secretaries and administrators. In Nigeria, because the code is not so specific that it must be done alone by charter secretary, but we know that Institute of Charter Secretaries and Administrators it happens to be the first institute to have a corporate governance module as part of examination process. So we want to emphasize more on this, train our members so that we can take the space and then conduct this. In addition to that, we want to also see the possibility of commencing our national secretariat. You've been there. It's good as at now, but it can be better. And so we are looking at various options. And we'll try as much as possible to grow the top line, that in terms of revenue, and also to have a very healthy bottom line. And that means we have to manage our expenditure carefully. And the principle or the concept is very simple. All our expenditure must be based on value for money. There must be value before we embark on any expenditure.
All right, great. The theme of this year's annual conference of the Institute is Ease of Doing Business in Nigeria, the role of regulatory agencies. It will be the first conference you will preside over as president. What's the rationale behind the choice of the topic?
The rationale is that the government is preaching ease of doing business. The private sector is also looking for ease of doing business. But the only platform that can deliver the ease of doing business basically are the regulatory authorities. So we are bringing them. And because we are bringing them, we've just decided to come up with a team that speaks to them. So the regulatory authorities will be there so that they can speak to the stakeholders, that is the private sector, and to tell us what are they doing to deliver on the mandate given to them by the government. Because when there is ease of doing business, the economy will move forward as expected, and that is why we have chosen the team so that it's not only corporate governance. Corporate governance is an enabler. We want the business to thrive, and we want to ensure that we have this very beneficial engagement with the relevant stakeholders.
Okay, ICSAN's conference has always engaged issues of national importance, and recommendations from them have always been sent to stakeholders. What's been the impact of these recommendations on Nigeria as a nation?
Tremendous impact. I can just make reference to this Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance. It's a fallout of that. 20 years ago, there was nothing like a corporate governance code in Nigeria. It's because we've been shouting to say that we must have structure in place to guarantee sustainability. That's why we're having the code. There is a review of KAMA. KAMA was promulgated in 1990. It's now being reviewed because of some of the communique we've issued in the past to say we need to review some of these laws because they are out of date. And we have a lot of regulations that are being reviewed from time to time, and we partner with the relevant stakeholders to make our input in such a way that we move the economy forward.
What's been the ICSAN relationship with relevant statutory regulatory bodies like Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, and Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC?
Cordial relationship and with mutual respect, and because regulatory authorities cannot do things on their own, what they do is they partner with relevant institutes, and the institutes have been partnering with Securities and Exchange Commission, Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, Nigerian Stock Exchange, and any other relevant authority. Whenever we are informed of any development or a proposed review of law or a new law to be made, we make our input and we appear before the public hearing to also maybe as much as possible expatiate on some of our views, listen to them, and they also listen to them. And that is why we are having a win-win situation.
All right. Still corporate governance platform brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. Mr. Ojidi, do we have an announcement? Our time is fast spent.
Okay, thank you very much for me. I'll just quickly run through. With the lectures for December 2019 diet examination, we commenced this Saturday, 3rd of August 2019 at the Institute's Lecture Center, Plot 6, Elephant Cement Way, Alausa. Would want listeners and all those who want to become chartered secretaries to take advantage of this opportunity. You can get more information about it from our website www.icsan.org, or you can call these numbers 080-9066-2203. You can also call 080-9066-0169.
Okay. Any programs coming up?
Yeah, we have a workshop coming up on the 21st to 23rd of August, and the title of the workshop is Legal Documentation of Contracts in the Energy Sector. It's a 3-day program, and it's at our Institute Secretariat plus 6 Elephant Cement Way, Alausa. For more information, you can call the 080-9066-2202. I take it again, 080-9066-2202.
Okay. All right. That's how far we can go this morning. You say a very big thank you to you, President of the Institute. That's talking about ICSAN, Mr. Bode, Ayeku, FCIS. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Say congratulations once again and wish you a great tenure.
Thank you.
In office. All right. Also, thank you to Akumeflo Gigi, Operations Manager, ICSAN. Thank you.
Thank you for me. Thank you.
All right. That's a package this morning. Corporate Governance Platform brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. Join us same time, same station next week for another interesting package. I am Funmi Omoborio. Enjoy the rest of the day.